Hi YouTube, this is Kristen Moonrise. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about the astrological ages. What does it mean when you hear people say the age of Pisces, the age of Aquarius? What does any of that mean? I realized that I couldn't go any farther in my moon reading videos as I frequently reference the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius as these energies that the moon represents helps usher us into this new era, these changes that we're going through in the world. So I think it's important to explain it both astrologically and astronomically. So in particular, I'm going to talk about four of the ages: the age of Taurus, the age of Aries, the age of Pisces, and the age of Aquarius. So it's a lot. So I will try and keep it as concise as possible, but being explanatory. But this video will be chopped up in a few different sections, and I'll have the timestamps in the on the video. So I'm going to talk about something that we all know very well. Month to month, there's a different sign, zodiac attached to it. And we complete that cycle every year. And I'm going to model that, what that looks like. And I'm going to show how different the ages are in comparison to that. And then I'll talk about some biblical references, perhaps biblical references to these astrological themes. And then I'm going to close and talk about the energies of these themes. Okay, so we'll start off with something that we are all familiar with, like the constellations. As we see here, these are three examples of the celestial sphere. As we know, the terrestrial sphere is our Earth, but the celestial sphere helps us locate the objects in the sky. So we do see that there is a grid system. The equivalent of our latitude is called declination, and it's measured in degrees, where our equivalent of longitude is called right ascension, and it's measured in hours. I actually like this middle image the best because it does accurately show the Earth's tilt. And the equator is also tilted, while the other ones show Earth is, exactly north and south. But that's okay. They are both, or all three of them are really good examples. So for the sake of this video, the two most important things are the celestial equator and the ecliptic. The celestial equator is essentially Earth's equator projected outwards onto the sky. And the ecliptic, from Earth's perspective, is the path that the sun takes throughout the sky, throughout the constellations. Here we see the vernal equinox, which is the spring equinox, summer, fall equinox, and winter. So the celestial equator and ecliptic meet twice, once at the spring equinox, once at the fall equinox. And in the northern hemisphere, the spring equinox is in March, and it's coming up. It's going to be on the 21st, and it's also considered the astrological new year. And so the spring and fall equinoxes are when the days and nights are roughly the same length or duration. So here we see our celestial sphere projected onto a flat map. And according to the International Astronomical Union, there are 88 constellations in our sky. And the placement of our solar system goes by 12 of these 88 constellations. And so this big curve here, I believe it's just an arm of the Milky Way galaxy. So we're just going to disregard that. But what we're really looking at is this thinner line here that goes up and down. And so we also see it here. That is the ecliptic again on this flat map. It's a curve because the Earth is rotating and has a tilt. But this again is the path that the sun takes throughout from Earth's perspective. And so these 12 uh, constellations are the 12 constellations of our zodiac. So I'll just take this one down. If I zoom in, we'll see Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo, Cancer. So we see that, and it's a little bit easier. Oop, let's see, where's the other one? We see it's a little bit easier to view here. And we see our coordinate systems are right ascension in hours and declination again in degrees. And so we see here these 12 constellations of the zodiac have been taken out. And according to this model, it is in Leo. So from Earth's vantage point, this is how we know what sign we are when we're born. Whatever, from Earth's vantage point, whatever the constellation is behind the sun is the constellation that we were born in. So we know that, and I'm a Leo, so I'm glad that this model actually reflects Leo. So we know that we're in July, August. And so since it's going counterclockwise according to this model, we know that Virgo is August, September, Libra is September, October, and then Scorpio is whatever is the next one, on so on and so forth. And so one way that I can show that to you, this pathway that the sun takes, the ecliptic, we're going to follow the ecliptic in this model here. And so I kept it at Leo, just like the model that we just looked at was at. And so I'm going to go by day. And we're going to just follow this path little by little. So now we're in Virgo. And as we see, definitely be mindful of the direction that the constellations are going in. So we can see as the sun travels, the constellations kind of move upwards. And so here, I'll just pause it here. The sun is now in Aquarius. So we see Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. These are the four that I will talk about a little later on in the video. So just again, see the direction that the sun is traveling. We see that the constellations are somewhat going upwards as the sun travels down. It's ecliptic. So the ages, what you have been waiting to see on this video. The ages are also represented by the 12 signs of the zodiac, but it extends for a much longer period of time than just month to month. There's a new zodiac, a new constellation that we enter into, and completing that throughout the year. So ancient cultures knew all about this much larger age and have had their own myths about this cycle. So each age lasts for roughly 2,100 years. One age we are in is equal to us being in one zodiac, and that lasts for about 2,100 years. So roughly it'll take us just under 26,000 years to complete this full cycle. And it's called the precession of the equinoxes because it's more so based on the equinox and that point. So it's called precession as if we're going backwards through the zodiac. So here, this vernal equinox, the spring equinox, is this point that I'm referencing again. So along with Earth's wobble and rotation and other celestial theories about what our solar system is doing, and about the sun in particular, this point over time looks as if it is going backwards through the zodiac, where in the vernal or spring equinox, where exactly it meets the sun is looking as if it's going backwards throughout the zodiac. It's not hitting the same point as it always did. So I've got a video to show you that I think is really good. I will link it in the description box. So this shows us, I like this because it shows the correct tilt of the Earth, where it shows this 23.5-degree tilt where the equator is tilted and the ecliptic plane is flat, where this particular celestial sphere shows the celestial equator as being the leveled or flat angle, where the ecliptic here is at the angle. But I like this as this one is a lot more accurate. So again, I wish that they showed the sun here. This is very important. That's one thing I didn't like about this particular video, is that it doesn't show the sun. But we'll just go along with it. So they have extended out the equatorial plane here and the ecliptic plane. So this again is the path that the sun takes. And so these red lines represent the fall and spring equinoxes, where the ecliptic and equatorial plane meets. And this process takes 26,000 years to complete, when the point that the spring equinox is pointing at changes constellations or ages. Every 2,000 years it'll change. So this little point here is showing us the spring equinox. So every March 20th, 21st, each year it'll change little by little, so that 2,000 years it'll take up space in each one of these constellations. I'll just continue. I think I might be over talking myself here. So let's just watch the diagram. So here it starts off in Aries at 1000 BC. Pisces is 1 AD. And so this is where we are right here, transitioning into the age of Aquarius. And so right now, our North Star is Polaris at the moment. So remember, this is 2,000 years that we are spending in each of these constellations. And each of these constellations and zodiacs, they have different themes. So just like being a Leo, you have a certain disposition, or a Capricorn, you have a certain disposition. These eras have certain effects on humanity also. As we see in 14,000 AD, Leo, our North Star will then be Vega. It would have rotated so much where Polaris is no longer our North Star. So humanity is definitely sensitive to these effects as we travel through these constellations and make all of these changes that's going on in the solar system and in the universe. And that's what I like to talk about when I discuss my moon readings, as these energies are telling us how to navigate through these changes. And we see that happening politically, we see that happening religiously, we see that happening in education and in the workforce. We see all these different pushes and pulls on humanity. So I'll just go ahead and stop the video here. It's going to just show the change of the North Star, but I will link everything in the description box so you can rewatch this video on your own. So how do we even know what age we're in? If so-and-so is a Capricorn and somebody else is a Libra and somebody else is a Taurus and somebody else is a Gemini, how do we know what age we are in if everything seems to change month to month? So really we need to go back to that vernal equinox, that sweet spot where as the sun is rising on the spring equinox, March 21st this year, where it meets the equator, that is what's going to tell us, the constellation at that point is going to tell us what age we're in. So we need to go somewhere on the equator. On March 21st, when the sun is rising. Hi guys, quick note here. I actually made a little bit of a mistake. I forgot to change the date to the actual date of the equinox, March 21st. But at the time of recording,
it's March 14th. So it's just literally 1 week difference. So it doesn't have any effect on the output, as it's just 1 week's difference compared to 2,000 years. But I just wanted to make note of that. Okay, thanks.
So I have everything situated. I've got everything set up to that, so to show that it is right before dawn. I'm in Quito, Ecuador right now. This is a fake horizon. This horizon doesn't mean anything. This is just the app that I'm using. And so I'm going to take the landscape off and show you that we are now exited. We are out of the age of Pisces and we're entering into the age of Aquarius. So I'll just do a quick show around. So this I'll talk about the age of Taurus, Aries, um, Pisces, and Aquarius at the end of this video, but I will show you what it looks like as we inch on year after year, the direction that the precession of the equinox is going and how it looks like it's going backwards. So it's going to take quite some time. I'm zooming by year after year. Every spring equinox, we're zooming, and you see just how long and slow it takes for us to exit out of one age. So, but technically, once we're out of a constellation, we're technically into the next one, although there is a bit of a gap. Um, and there's a lot of biblical similarities to a lot of things here, but that I won't really too much go into detail on like a 2,000 year period, and then there's a 1,000 year period. So I think maybe that 1,000 year period is that gap between constellations, but that's not approved of by certain religions, but that's just kind of my guess. So as we see, we are inching our way slowly into the age of Aquarius, into the actual constellation. And if you remember from before, the when we were doing month to month constellation, those constellations were quickly going upwards, up the ecliptic. But here they're slowly going downwards. And so that's the precession. That's where it looks like the ages are going backwards, because that point in the spring equinox is it's a bit of a slippage each and every I guess so often, each and every year, or what is it? It's like 72 1 degree every 72 years or something like that. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm leaving a lot of the resources that I used in the description box. So I'm no astrologer yet or an astronomer, but that is just what I've been reading and studying. So after so long, we'll be in the age of Aquarius, and that lasts, I mean, well, we are technically in it, that lasts for 2,000 years. Then we go up to Capricorn, and then it just continues to go farther and farther backwards up um the the zodiac. So Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, and then Leo. And it just continues to go backwards. Okay, so we will talk a little bit biblically. This is something that the Catholic Church does not recognize. This is a bit of a topic called astrotheology that I'm not that familiar with, but I think it is quite interesting, as it does kind of give some correlation between a lot of the biblical accounts and astrology. So the age of Taurus, according to the precession of equinoxes, this came first, or not first, but it came before where we're now. So the age of Taurus is roughly 4,000 BC to 2000 BC. So this was the agricultural age. This is where the matriarchy was a little bit more popular. The feminine was absolutely respected and cared for. There was much care for the earth, much cultivation of the land. It was a healthier time period. This is very Egyptian. This was the age of the Egyptians. So the dominant keyword for Taurus, every sign of the zodiac has a dominant keyword, and it is I have. So I take that to mean I have land, I have livestock, I have food, I have grain, I have everything of substance that's necessary. So after that comes the age of Aries. And this is roughly 2000 BC to 1 BC. And so this represents the Iron Age, weaponry, military, more aggression. The masculine has now entered the room. So this is the age of Moses and Judaism as the major religion at this point. Remember that biblical account where Moses got mad at the Israelites for worshiping the golden calf, and many believe that the golden calf is really just the sun in Taurus. So because Moses represents this new age of Aries, he was upset with them that they were still in the old age, the still worshiping the golden calf, the age of Taurus. And so the dominant keyword for Aries is I am. This isn't the first instance of the age of Aries, but it is believed that Aries is the first, is the ruler of the zodiac. It's the first of the zodiac. It's the oldest zodiac. So it's this I am is the first. And there's I am all over the Bible, definitely. So next, comes the age of Pisces, which is roughly 1 AD to 2000 AD. This continued on with the masculine and the suppression of the feminine, and sacrifice and struggle was the theme of this period. And two fish represents Christianity, and with it being the dominant religion, the dominant world religion. And the dominant key word for Pisces is I believe. So very, very appropriate. I believe is the key word for the constellation of Pisces, for the sign of Pisces. And so there is a biblical account where the disciples asked Jesus in Luke when the last Passover will be. And some people believe that Passover means like into the next age. I'm definitely not saying yay or nay to any of this, but it's just really interesting just to find some probable correlations here. But in Luke 22:10, Jesus responded, "When you enter the city, a man carrying a jug of water will meet you. Follow him into the house he enters." So lots of people believe that the man with the water jug is the age of Aquarius, which is the next age. There's a lot of accounts in the Bible. I'm with you until the end of the age, until the end of the world, or whatever. So the age of Aquarius is roughly 2000 AD to 4000 AD. And this time at its best is supposed to represent an integrated masculine and feminine, where the masculine and feminine had been quite at odds with each other over the past couple of ages. This is supposed to be more of an integrated time. It's the age of technology, of science, humanitarianism, and utopia. It's supposed to be the elimination of poverty, the elimination of us versus them, the elimination of the haves and have-nots. It's supposed to birth a new world religion. Lots of astrologers want it to be astrology, as evidently there's some connection between Aquarius and astrology as a religion, perhaps like Pisces and Christianity is connected. And so a lot of astrologers are excited that astrology is going to become less of a pseudoscience and more respected like how it was before. But of course, there's a shadow side to everything. And because we have the technology to fix everything, we also have the technology to disrupt and destroy everything, turning it into a dystopia. So the dominant keyword for Aquarius is I know. So we moved on from the age of Pisces being I believe, and we are in the age of Aquarius of I know energy. So the veil has been lifted. That's what many astrologers and spiritualists say. And I also think that is very interesting. I actually haven't heard this anyone else say this. Maybe I just missed it, but there's a lot of there's a lot of anger about being woke. So I think it's very interesting that the people that are very angry about being woke are the ones that want to keep the age of Pisces um, as dominant. So yes, we are waking up. Are in the age of Aquarius where the dominant keyword is I know. We are waking up. That is very woke. So I think that it's very interesting that that term is looked at as a negative, while astrology is telling us that is exactly how we should be. And no one is making fun of astrology saying I know, but it's just the fact that that's just the word, that woke is the word um, that has come to be seen as negative, but it just so happens to be completely aligned with the age of Aquarius. And I just think that that is really amazing. So whenever I hear someone speaking negatively about, oh, this woke this, woke that, yes, because this is an age where we are supposed to be integrating everything. But it's very interesting to hear who doesn't want to integrate in. So astrology astrology informs us of all of this, and it informs us of the shadow side and the good side of everything, and it guides us by the different placements of the different planets and the moon and the sun, whatever wherever we are, and the precession of the equinoxes and the ages. It's up to us on what direction that we take as we process through time. So one thing I also thought was very interesting, since there's so many things that correlate with astrological themes are correlating with what's going on in the world, it makes me wonder, do we really live in a simulation? Because it's or is humanity subconsciously living out you know, what astrology is saying? So it's very interesting because if I believe is the dominant keyword of Pisces and the two fists and Jesus, and then I know of Aquarius, and we're waking up to different types of technology with AI and everything. People are, people are dropping out of the church. Like they're not really returning back to church like how they used to. So it mirrors perfectly. So it makes me wonder, are we in a simulation, where we can definitely choose our ending, because it just really aligns almost too well. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope that you liked this video and found it informative. Let me know what you think about the ages or anything else that we covered in this topic, any maybe biblical similarities, or is it just nonsense to you? Just let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.